On 21st of March 2025 this year, a sad incident happened at Adum market where fire raged down a number of shops in the area. Government officials went there in their numbers to give donations, among other things. The government, from the NPP side, they gave some donations. Businessmen also went there to give donations just to help the individuals there or the market to men to bounce back to business. The Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly also came in with some measures to decongest the area, though the decongestion exercise hasn't gone down fully. It's supposed to be done in a period where they have scheduled. But entering into our communities today, we'll be going back to the Adum market, that's a PZ market, to find out what the update is with that market, how the market men are going about the day-to-day activities, though the place hasn't been raised or hasn't been built back, and what the KMA is also doing about the market now that some fire got to the place. Middle Belt Bureau Chief, that's Hafiz Tijani, is live joining us from the market. So we have a conversation on it and see what the update is with this particular market. Hafiz, good morning.
Good morning, Phil.
I trust you are doing well.
I'm well. How are you too?
I'm doing good. Before we go into the current happenings at the market, let's take our viewers back. What happened at the market and also the measures that have been taken by the various authorities, i.e. the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly and the Ashanti Regional Minister, to get the market back to life, and also some form of decongestion exercise that we understand will be done there.
Well, so it was a Friday like this one on 21st March 2025, like you mentioned earlier, where traders woke up to the fire that started at about 5 a.m. on that day, and the fire started from one of the shops at the building at the end there, and the fire spread to other shops, container shops located at the lower part of the market, and spread also to a major building here where it's being used for the storage of flammable materials and combustibles, and also used in the storage of items, or some of the shops there used as warehouses. So that was what happened. So since the incident happened on that day, the president was here. He was attending a program here, and that coincided with his visit to the Ashanti region. Then he had to come here, speak to the leadership of the traders. He consoled them. He commiserated with them, and also said that authorities, the Ghana National Fire Service, the ambulance service, and also the other security agencies were putting measures in place, and NADMO were putting measures in place to ensure that they look into this matter. Although we don't have the official report on this fire yet, but the city authorities talk of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council. They are putting some measures in place to ensure that this place is secure. So one major issue that was the concern was the access. When the fire officers were trying to come in here with their attendants when the incident happened, they had challenge with access. So the other side of the market has been demolished to create access routes to this particular place, though there are efforts to rebuild by the traders who have consistently called on the city authorities to allow them to rebuild. But the KMA and also the Regional Coordinating Council are also saying that they want to put in these measures in place, the access, so that when there is future disaster or future fire outbreak here, the fire engines are able to move freely to come and then get the situation under control, so we don't have the fire burning or spreading at the magnitude it spread the last time. So that is what is being put in place. But if you look behind me, the traders have temporary structures, though they are waiting for the city authorities to take a final decision on what to do about the reconstruction efforts here. But that has not been done, or since that has not been done, most of them who do not want to be idling here, since the incident happened, they've been coming around, holding series of meetings, their leadership also engaging with the KMA on the way forward. Even today, we are told that the leadership of the traders are going to engage with the KMA to have a meeting. But since that has not been done yet, the traders have taken advantage of the time, or the time to ensure that they erect their temporary structures to at least ply their trade, so they will not be sitting home or maybe idling when they come here. So far, that is what has happened. But trading activities are ongoing here. And you can see in the background the traders going about their duties.
After the incident happened, we noticed that the regional minister was trying to get the issue or the fire doused. What has been the activities, or what has been his plan outlined for the rebuilding of the place? Because we know that the traders also threatened to build or to rebuild the market.
Yeah, so that is the issue in contention now. The traders want to rebuild, but the minister and the city authorities are insisting that until these measures are put in place about the access routes, you know, that was the major incident, the major complaints or the concern by the fire officers who were brought in here to ensure that they get the situation under control. So they had that issue put to the regional minister and the city authorities and said that their men were not able to get access to, and that was the major, considering that they are prioritized that much to the access routes done, so that if there's a fire disaster in the future, the fire engines are able to enter freely. So that has even prompted the congestion exercise we are going to see in the coming weeks by the KMA, who says that because other traders are also occupying the pavements and the major streets, you know, the Adum or the Central Business District has always been busy. People are coming in to do all manner of activities, and we have other traders who are also sitting on the pavement and have taken over the major streets and plying their activities. So even commuters who are coming into the market are not able to move freely to do their daily activities or to perform their daily activities. So that is making it very challenging for even emergency service providers to access some of these areas when always there is fire. And this has not been the first time the Ghana National Fire Service and also the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, has been repeatedly telling city authorities about some of these challenges. Whenever there's fire outbreak within the Central Business District, within the Central Market, these are some of the challenges the fire officers face in terms of coming in with their engines and getting free access to where the fire is happening. It has always been that challenge. So the city authorities want to prioritize this incident, or use this incident as a lesson, at least, to put these measures in place, especially about the access, so they can create the access before they allow the traders. But because time was being spent, the traders believe that since they have lost some items, they can't just be idle, and they have to start something in terms of trading so they can cushion themselves financially. And that is why you see that the traders are so concerned about what they think is the delays on the part of city authorities. But for city authorities, until such measures are put in place, they are not going to allow the traders to rebuild. But even if they are going to allow the traders to rebuild, there has to be experts. Experts have to come in place to at least supervise the work and also look at what is going to be done, how they are going to rebuild, so that they don't just put up structures haphazardly here like being done before the fire incident. So they want to create a very nice access route which where vehicles can come in whenever such situation happens. So that is why you are seeing that the city authorities and the traders are going back and forth on this matter.
Right. So what is the mood of the traders?
Well, for the traders, for now, all they want is for city authorities to ensure that this place is rebuilt. Either the city authorities are rebuilding or they are allowing them to rebuild. So the issues are in two folds. So the traders believe that if city authorities, that is the government, is going to take over the rebuilding efforts of this particular market, it's going to experience some delays. But if they are rebuilding, because of the seriousness they have attached to how they want to resume business, they can just rebuild so fast and come back and trade. But the fear for city authorities is that if the traders are going to be allowed to rebuild, they will not go by the planned structural rebuilding in terms of zoning the area, in terms of the settlement of the area, is going to be scattered. So the traders are just hoping that that time given by the city authorities is going to be up, so the rebuilding efforts can start. Mind you, the traders have received some donations from, we have known people, talk of the former Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and other members of parliament, both in the region and outside the region. And the member of parliament for Abetifi in the Eastern region, Brian Champon, when he came here to give some donation to the traders, he says that if he's given the green lights by the Asante Hene and the government, he is going to demolish the major building here that that was the hardest hit in terms of the fire outbreak, and then rebuild the place, and then rebuild the market, and then ensure that the traders come back and trade. But that has not been done. The traders are considering all these promises and also the assurances that is being given by the Ashanti Regional Minister and the Kumasi Mayor and management of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, that they are still putting in measures in place before the rebuilding efforts can be done. So for the traders, they are well ready, waiting for just the go-ahead by the city authorities. Either they coming in with their engineers to rebuild the place, or they would go ahead to rebuild their structures here and then continue with their trading. So, but for now, they want to trade temporarily, and also those who had their warehouses in some of the shops, because they can't use these shops, they have relocated their wares to other places, and they come here on a daily basis. When their customers come around, they are able to engage with them and at least sell the items to them and take them to wherever they have secured or they have stocked their items or their wares, so they can give their items to them. So that is what is happening here.
All right, so Hafiz, can you engage some of the traders for us? Let's hear from them what they make of the rebuilding exercise, and also the issue with the KMA moving in to do what it has to do. The traders are also saying that they want to do the rebuilding exercise, the rebuilding themselves. So if we can hear from some of the traders, what they are scared in a way, that if should government do it, government is going to delay in doing the same thing happening that Kantamanto in Accra where the traders also moved in to do the rebuilding themselves. So if we can speak to 1, 2, 3, 4 of the traders to hear from the horse's own mouth what they make of the rebuilding exercise and the planned decongestion exercise that will happen in the coming days.
Okay, so that's fine. So before that, Philip, let me show you that the city authorities or the KMA want to demolish. This building was the hardest hit in terms of the fire incident. There were about 3 buildings, but this had most of the damage here. But even before that, shop owners, you can see that there's some work going on there. Shop owners are trying to erect some of the to at least work on the shops, work on the damage so that they can resume. But the plan by the KMA, we are told, is that this building is supposed to go down. This building is supposed to go down because of the dangers it poses. And we don't know the plan yet by the shop owners. They have started some work at some of the shops or their shops, but we don't know if the KMA is going to stop them. We don't know also when exactly the KMA is going to do the demolition of this building, because when the Ghana National Fire Service came here the last time, they said that this building posed a threat to lives and people should not be occupying this place because of the weak nature of the building, because the intensity of the fire has made the building, the structural integrity of the building is not in good shape. So they would have to ensure that the city authorities take steps to demolish this. But this morning, you can see in the cameras or in the pictures that the shop owners have contracted some people to erect pillars and also try to erect some bricks to build part of the shops. But the KMA has not come out with any official documentation as to when it's going to demolish this building, or as to whether or not they are going to allow the traders themselves here to at least build the damaged area and start with their trading. So we don't know what the way forward is. We don't know what the way forward is for the KMA, but let's go and engage with some of the traders from them since the incident happened. What has been the situation in terms of their finances, in terms of their trading here, in terms of their work here. Let's speak to this trader here. Mami, good morning.
Good morning.
I'll call about the ChannelOne TV.
Oh, okay.
Send a Yamasiko.
Oh, Nema de Bibia Jinsemo, I basa if you say, a hash chair. Yadin China, BC, Besia, my Bese, and Tiama, say, Kakra, Cranny, dear going in a bat, I ain't meant to fee. They say, you dear near Melcocra, near Pia, Basa.
You say, my leaders, no, they be our money came before penny for a meeting. Or mobile, and then I'm catch them.
Yeah, they are mobile, your Mocani say, Yabut, and I be a bear come. Ah, Yabut, be a bear come. Son or Mocatcher. Mocan, no one can be actually.
When I see any, Eddie, a hunch biaba.
If I try the Ahunchre be brave, me momo dear. I want you to have about me so pie, ye pie, if you say. Menamu hono, me your balcony for me couldn't free. Ain't me and I'm a shamemba. A you may answer, and I may am did. Until now, Miss Hashi, and my part of me, you know, I need nash. You make a craving, and I am a fire, me never be so intimate.
Then I will
Me patch on me tunton, and you mean to make us away, and now you bodja, preckers, and near my baby me tunton, a high new. And I will be on the bear my stride, your person, I can see, any do bed in a match, and
where the advert. Where the advert. Tell you, Ceciano, One on person Musimadia and I say Aban Simam.
Me patcho yenya na epesi esi ade. Yenya if say me gina we say ma mbadwom one day kura me nidi. Sunday nyina me badwom ti ha ese amama ko ahokyere mu bebre. Ti esre mpanyufo mo ka bi ewom. Ene aban ne Kumasi ura o mampanyini. Esre ne say munyina omumwa ye na omunya ma yenya yensi ade. Yes, I could pass it. Omunesi amaya de how be bebre.
But sister, no, almost say mumusia, munsini ye. On pese, omubesia, answer on besina, and as on besino, or munyi coin kama. Nanka coin daha, nanka car beer bar, na can't me room, say fire service for no, can't mean maha. Mumusia musini say.
Me bacho yen yeti hada dano, na yeti na tre fa, intina e kwan dem. Inti akoba se train gya adwuma ye na amanfo betena tre kwa inti ye nipa dada ye te dada ye nim se kwan da inti e ba sa ha hye o ma beti kwan na tu ai kwan ni dem a ye ma obi anya da entinam inti bibini a ye si a ye begya kwan na tu ama kwan na da ho ama bibia se double road kura na ye gya yatuma ka betimi afa ako inti ye si a ye begya kwan na tu.
Okay, so this is one of the affected traders. She sell all sorts of items here. Before the fire incident happened, she had her shop, a container shop where she applied her activities. And since the incident happened, she's talking about some financial situation she has gone in, but she can't continue like that. So she has to bring in this table here, at least temporarily, to erect her place here, her space here, to do the trading before a final decision on when the market can be rebuilt will take place. And she is also raising concern about the delays in getting the responses, the decision from the city authorities to at least rebuild the place. And the concern I spoke about that the traders have been raising, that they fear that if the city authorities or government is taking over the rebuilding effort, there might be some delays. So they want to take charge of the rebuilding to do their rebuilding. And she is talking about some of the financial constraints she has been going through since this incident happened. And she's appealing to the KMA, the leadership of the Regional Coordinating Council, and other stakeholders who would ensure that this market is rebuilt will be done. So I asked her about if they are rebuilding, how they are going to do it, because the plan by the city authorities is that they are going to ensure that there's access routes before even they can be allowed to rebuild. And she says that since the incident happened, they have come to create the access routes, and she believes that this is the time to rebuild. Her market, no, first na ahanyeshi, no, any no difference, no, yede.
Difference de o mu bebre first ahanyeshi na nipa fa ha ebeto ya de obi anim say aha e blue light market me ko ha menya we so inte ba aha hye na aba TV so sa aha hye say inte ama your customers nyina adwame amekasa me de ne ma besi akora ye nto bi say customers o moto ma de nyina me hu o mo na me so a ma anyeju o mo number inte ama e bibia ye basa e bibia ye basa inte ama nipa ne emba.
Now, first, no, ultimate tombe nyama besen, and assessi anon so nyama say no ultimate.
Oh, first dear, mitimi ton yema, me coffee, I told her mitiminya 10 million, I told her mitiminya 8 million, that marketing ye, mitiminya bear 5 million. Now they said, I told her 1 million criminia. I told her 50 cedis, now they are told you need me coffee. Na mene nkwala makopa bosia ma na masan ba kakra bi se wuntimi ntena fi e wasa wo ye kakra se be ya obehu customers te niema de asai bebre na me so meti o mekuna o menyu obi obema me wansi di se jefa kan osika ho e fa ye adwuma nti no mentimi ntena fi nti wasa de bia me ba na me fight se benya kakra de ato aduane edi.
Okay, so she's talking about the difference between the market or the sales before this place was razed down by the fire, and now she says that because people know that this place has been raised down by fire. Most of their customers do not come here to buy things again. And when they come, they are not able to meet their daily targets of sales. So previously, she could make like 1,000 Ghana cedis or 800 Ghana cedis in a day. But for now, because customers are not coming and she has lost a number of the customers who used to come to buy her items here. And that is the concern for her, and that has resulted in the dwindling of her sales. Her sales have dwindled because of the incident. So let me ask her a final question about when she wants the place to be rebuilt. The Bempana opese market ha yensi ni fufro na musam ebedi mudwa.
Deɛ me dɛ mepɛ ne sɛ yɛwɔ mpanyinfoɔ wɔ hanom nti nka deɛ mepɛ ne sɛ ɔmbɛgya ama yɛ na yɛ mpanyinfoɔ no so bɛhwɛ so ama yɛ dɛ yɛnya yɛsi sɛneɛ ɔmo si pɛ sɛ yɛsi na ɛkwan bɛde dam a obiara bɛnya baabi atena.
If I was saying,
Zainab
deɛ
Mumuni.
Okay, so that's a trader, an affected trader there, Zainab Mumin. So she says that because they have leaders here, she would want the KMA to engage with the leaders and then give instructions to the leaders so they can rebuild. Then the leadership supervise the rebuilding efforts for them. Let's speak to more of the traders here who have also erected their wares here. Boss, good morning. Good morning. Okay, so he doesn't want to talk to us. Customer. Okay. We are customer. First now no bahano. Na hati say. And I say no difference be no unu ase.
Then nobody can say customer. The woman be who do you say ha. Ti me ka say. And also mo mpeni for so no kasanti no. Gise busa boss no nka say.
I mean say we are customer. Yeah, no be to idea wa ha. I know bisa say difference be no unu ase. First now no be didwa wa ha no. Any say difference.
Me no say me biso mu the eco say say me nya bia ka atun to gise obuso me biso mansa.
I mean him say we are customer. How kasa as customer. Ha na oba ha no. Na dwanity say. Okay, so this customer is not willing to talk to us. Let's try and engage more of the traders here to speak to them. But when you come here, people have erected their temporary structures here and they are doing their trading activities here. Let's see if we can engage this customer. Mommy, good morning. That is saying. Okay, so most of the traders don't want to talk to us here. Hello, Mommy, good morning. Okay, so that's the building that was affected most in terms of the fire incident here at the blue light section of the market. And this is the building the KMA says they are going to demolish. And though there's no any definite timeline by the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly in the demolition effort of this building, which we are told poses a lot of threats to people who use it. But you still find people seated there plying their activities here. And people are also, I've seen masons and carpenters working on some of the shops. Shop owners at least maybe contracted them to go ahead with the exercise here. But the KMA in a release last week says it was going to demolish this particular structure. It was going to demolish this structure and ensure that the rebuilding efforts of the market would start from there. But we've not had any official communication also from the KMA when exactly they are going to do the demolition exercise.
So
when it rains, because of the
from your observation, how many traders are selling at the blue light as at now who were affected by the incident? Is that all the affected traders are selling there, or some, or others have also moved to other places?
Yes, so you know, most of the traders also had shops at some of the market areas. So this place, like this building I'm talking about, it was used as warehouse. So they come to pick some of the items here and take them to their shops and then sell. But most of the people who you see erecting temporary structures here are people who had the container shops here. So they don't have permanent structures. But for those who have the shops, most of them are not erecting the structures because it's only the shops they can operate from. But for people who have their container shops here, they are now erecting these structures to trade here at this place.
Wow.
But
So from what
most
you are
of them,
from what you are seeing on the TV right now, the people building, they are building on their own. No directive from, say, the KMA, no directive from the regional minister. They are just going ahead to do the building themselves.
Yes.
Did they do any structural integrity before building?
That has not happened.
Wow.
Because the KMA says that the advice from the fire service and the NADMO was for them to demolish this building, but that has not been done. Has there been demolition has not been done?
Has there been any plan from the authorities to stop them from building?
No, I think this has not started even today. Wow. Since we came here, we've not seen any authority here who is here to stop any of the traders here or any of those who are doing the rebuilding here. And this has not started today. They have erected pillars. They have also at least employed some masons to carry out the building. But because the place is not so cleared, so you can still find debris, and that is taking also space here. So the traders have just erected their structures anyhow, just to trade for the meantime before they wait for the go-ahead from the city authorities to get them to at least do the necessary assessment and also the rebuilding of the market. So we can speak to this other trader here who is also affected by this particular fire incident at the Adum area. So, I talk about the ChannelOne TV.
Yeah, just so. I promise you.
Fine. Blue light says I didn't echo.
Okay, blue light. The echo so say. Problem is to muna money sem. Na sisi no the apma could say. Jakofa contractor oyi gates. Na last week in Nyanity say friend say Zuba came boss. Our banner say yempeni for no and train adwuma sakra na and they only move meeting and run also nke baso but and run akwa made di no ntina enti mama so ne omone oso yemfa contractors aye adwuma no and the planner ye pese after gata no ayi no ye beye from atumti no penifo no ko omone contractors no ko sia ka be boss no
then no turn wa ha na when you see how be na the brew.
Oh, Pabua na meton security boots and safety boots no. Mine se form Pabua no ne. Pabua soldier for ni police for no send bi. Enbi na meton. Bi kula na kakra kai na mahangi o haye.
When you see I won't share be na the brew.
Na me no heading because she no first and she no na ye di dwa kama. Se nam say she no. Omu say ya bad ye ya bebubu table but enye we no ye pese tena so. Say enye den ade echi a yakoye emema ye wo yire ne ma no de enye den a be ba akoma ofie na ye be tena ha say ja bia no bi ba betum ye neja ye nya kakra to aduane ma ye ne yere ne maadi esi ne be ba no nam sa ha ne ye no amanfo nhyɛ da ma bia sa aduane ye basa ene de we tutututu amana na ye gata so no chama aha ne star bi sa aduane nkoso se fo ese no
Na first na KMA for say mountain train so said osikai na kwamu behe no munsi ade ne mamu. Say some person musi ma de. Mu be si ni sen.
Okay. Ni omu say yempanifo no say oma kofa contractor after gata no the plan egu akwam na mi momu de no kra ba akopɛ yempanifo no de omu pese omu ye ha no me omu nka ma mente ne papa mu no e wo say komu free na meeting so utie na after gata no plan na mo pese momu ye no si ye stores si ye containers me anka say no minim aye yes but yen tran ba bi sa ye wo leaders no se ke me boss na frame say plan na after gata no ye be ye na ha no monfa ene contractors no mekire no ono ke me boss on ton ade wa ha ono wo tere office ye ne ye dwadifo no ye na wo senka mudi kan de plan no kire say empanifo no ya tena se yakofa contractor after gata no say ne ye pese ye no ha ene ye na asia na mo gi adwini firi obi a ho ba we na kwa botom na no mu twa kire ye yanka say tia asase su no ye nim plan na after gata no mo ya amaye ayesi ebisi container ebisi stores obi say obi a ho ha akwa say bebre o mu ntimi pese o mbekasa me de meka omuni ye nya meeting say after gata no ye si container ana ye si store omuni ni ye nya sa meeting no ye nya sa meeting no na emom keme boss de omu de ko che no but ye nya de sa keme boss on ton de ha ono hotel office ana na said yesu say or request because assembly no ha na ye se keme ase si ye di dwuma bia emrem e wo se mani hu se emwa kuru no a because e bi beto ba say de ye first an ye te ha no plan na ye te ha no ono watu ye fo say ye nya new structure ni entetentemu abebo na ensan yi ka kwantu eno di ya o rice or request but yesu so aye dwadifo no a ye leaders no no yesu so no ankasa omo mie o nneoma so open e ma ye hu say ye gata ni wi a ye si containers nko a ye stores nko a me no ka say minim
na meeting omo committee ni ba mpenifo ande no mbeka kire mo
oh meeting ni de omo ko ba ye nya abotire yeguso yetu anamo enya abotire yeguso yetu anamo eno anum ka kire.
All right, so that's one of the affected traders. He has been raising concerns about the meetings, the series of meetings that their leadership have been holding with the KMA authorities at the KMA, and he says that they have contracted some people to at least do the drains here at the market after the incident, and he doesn't know the way forward when or what will happen after the drains are being constructed. He wants to know if they are going to be allowed to erect their container shops like they used to trade previously, or they are going to build permanent structures that to allow them to trade here. These are some of the questions he needs answers to. But we'll put those questions to the leadership, who we are told are currently in a meeting with the Kumasi mayor. And I asked him about the challenges he has gone through since after the incident. He has also been complaining about the customers he has lost previously, because this place was booming with business and all that. He had specific customers who come to him. He sells boots for mining companies who come here to buy the boots, and people who work in construction firms, they buy these boots, safety boots from him. But because of this incident, he's not able to track some of these customers. They know that this place is bent, and the haphazard nature of this place, people don't come here like they used to come. So he has a problem of sales. He's not making the right targeted sales daily that he used to make. So he is raising some concerns and want answers from the leaders of the market. What is the next line of action for them? Though when they go for the meeting and come, they come to brief them, but he wants them to have a meeting with all affected traders so they will know the way forward. It says an person aban and Simon and I say one person person musi.
Oh, I know the aban me baby no. Ye jama aban no and no mesun in the mood or no craban when yanko be obey be free because all campaign no. It's in some bebre okay. The first time of buying no, your project bebre how when be abandoned and buy so one to us. Into why the campaign no or can same be say. Nyankopon ya adom na nya Ghana foto amama no na tumi ni kan sa enuma bi o hyase a wanwie na abanda da na anto aso no oba obewie ni na. Number 2 abanda da no so enuma bi a wo ye ya project a wanwie no so no obeto aso so ye de we no finance minister the first budget no a wo ye no na hanse e chiransa na ye ha na be se. It is your cousin, your train a by now, and you're better if you are. Anna, the Asana to be able to say, a buy car so, yeah, get it, Yahasi, any project. But MPP na net so, baby, say, Oman to Manje, Anum Koye, higher phase 2. Also, you'll be completed, or you'll be cooked from market. Nina, we and you can say, yes, I train we here, and where you get the phone, and get there. Me ma dwen die kam su sen ka present no sabi amanfo donation kakra bre kanu ne ahya ye de ye nemum kadu ba bi aban no mo meso ya sene ye ka se ye jani na to aban no so a aban no ninyuma doso.
So he's suggesting that the authorities should allow the affected traders to put up their structures. He says that government is already burdened with uncompleted projects, which is the focus for the current administration, trying to finish up all these projects. So if they should put this one on the government again, it's going to be burden on the government. So the government should allow the traders to do the construction and rebuild their structures here so they can go ahead and do their trading activity. Let me finish with him, finalize with him, to ask him about what he thinks should be the way forward after the rebuilding. Nti say yes enjoy we are and then now e bi I kwa ni mu market no say no person tie me no we second interview no me jade ba ko say efa nesie no say jama aban a me politicians ye nwie no e bi kwa ye ni ankasa no ye tia no bebre kura nya bi ye nimnioma bebre be koso what I say enti ne ye pese ye ne ya transasi so an ya transasi so nyende e ko 40 years what I say enti say e bedru ba bi na afia ko yesika sem aban wie ade so a ye num ebo a ya na de dada so e bi yesika be ka se ye dwumne minya so what I say e ko basa na me ma transfer me sabe me mo from a be pem sa amri ya medidi asase so e bedru ba bi na ebo e be da so mentu ya na fa so bi amaso nti na ho no kakra no ti ne se pese ye nia entobo e de abre no ye nia be na dru ba bi na se ye so tukura na ka aban ni mum abeboa yan. Yes, na se sisi jana se no ese nyamasiko
oh se nyame ya adom ne se mu siesie edwan wi a ye nyame ya adom ne siesie ye mpanifo no ti se dem di ka kan ye nim plan a ye no mu fa nche but ke me boss de omo ekobie so ache no but totally wrong me de omo hwe me ba bia me informase musi ayemfum so masa me na ye na na te ya na asamato ye mutu anamo but a plan be na mo ye also ye open na obia kire na adwen oh musamos ebia musi store ye na yetim se ebia store ne duru ba bia ebia be duru ba bia na makopim because as we aha no ensuo because that time Jali John o si sa na we oya gata we me wa ha na ne ton ade omu wie no mo twen gata nda bonche no mo twi dan ne bai masa me kai that Arab contractors and esi edan amena pa omu twa ko fom ene abo pa omu de fele ye no eti say store so a me so ma dwen ne say the same land na wo mu me try adwen ni tuo say a store because omu nya no open ma ye hu so mesi store say a store no mbesi a omu say scanner omu ko fa expert amana ba betwa sa amena na ye twa we no bi e de aboni gu mu na na because esikasem container de minim se bi emu nyedu me pato what say container ne dan enyepe afi obesi be wie ne ke me se e bi yeso epe bi wom no mo so besi bi ato aso e dan we sa na koye na afi ye besi be wie no ne ye de yensa beto se yeso enyaye de a ye me entra mu nidwa e ko basa na akoye sutro mienu so amani han ye japade ahye store so ya baby affairs ne eche no ase sese ni baby te e ko basa na emrisia o se nkomudi ye ma ye timi san babak no obo o wanya ba kokora amfa o ba obi hunu mobo afri ne nuoma amana ba ye de aba beton akobasa na twe yes o se this na ko chiri
Ajo Frozen
Nana ya Asante.
Okay. So that's Nanaya Asante, one of the affected traders, raising some concerns there. He wants the traders to be giving some assurances in terms of erecting their structures here. And he is also talking about their fears as traders. If the government is going to construct it, he's putting the issues into perspectives. So he says that traders fear that they might not be getting their shops back. That's why they still want to do the reconstruction themselves.
Okay.
And also, if the government should construct, a trader like him would be given some amount or some price in terms of the cost of the shops. He will not be able to pay for that. So these are the fears within the traders they are raising about the reconstruction effort. So that's why they want to do the rebuilding themselves so that they can secure their various space of trade before even the government would have a plan, a major plan to reconstruct this market. But for now, he says that the traders should be allowed to at least do their own rebuilding efforts here, and also their leadership should engage with them so they will know the way forward as to their reconstructing the structures themselves, or the government is going to do the reconstruction for them.
Hafi, so relax for us, and we will get back to you shortly. We have the Public Relations Officer for the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly online, Madam Ifia Kunedu Abuaje. Madam, good morning.
Good morning.
I trust you are doing well.
Nice.
You've heard the concerns of the traders. Before we move into their concerns, what has been the meeting between the leadership of Adum Market and the KMA? What has been the conversation about?
All right. So thank you very much for this opportunity. As I speak to you this morning around 11, we have a meeting with the executive. We were supposed to have a meeting last Tuesday, but then realized that some of the unions were not present. So the chief executive postponed the meeting to today so that we can have all of them present. But so far, the discussions with the leadership of the last week was that we made them aware of the buildings that the structural integrity test says it has to be pulled down, and 3 of them has to be pulled down, and then 3 of them means rewiring and some renovation work to be done there. Out of the 3 that has to be pulled down, 2 of them belongs to the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, and 1 belongs to a private person. So if we are pulling them down, you should know that if we are pulling our own structures down, it should tell you that yes, the results, and we believe that the results are came, and we know that we don't want to lose any more life because the fire we didn't lose any life in the fire. We don't intend to sit still and allow the buildings to cave in. We also indicated to them that once the report says that 3 of the buildings should be pulled down, we are going to adhere to it, and so they should not do any plastering, any block work, anything in the building, for it is going to be pulled down. And then our discussions with them last week, we indicated to them that because we know that they are traders, we cannot let them sit at home and wait for the structure to be pulled down and then erected again and all that comes with it. And so we are going to go by what we call containers, where whether you are in the building or what we call shops, or already some of them were in containers, others were on tables. We are going to erect some containers, sizes that can be managed, but all of them can also go in and ply their trade while the construction is also ongoing. They also came to an agreement with their leadership that as we speak, Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly does not have enough resources as of now to construct those buildings. And the traders indicated that some banks have come forward to rebuild the structures. But since the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly has two of the buildings and the private persons, we will need to engage them extensively so that we give them a heads up, and then the design and then the works department of the assembly supervises the work that is going to be done. And then we give them a time frame that we think that they are not going to waste any more time, and then they erect the buildings, and then the traders themselves go in to occupy. And so that has been the discussion so far with the traders. And then this morning, maybe around 11 when we meet again, we are going to reiterate and then see the conclusion that we are going to come with at the end of the meeting today.
All right. So while you were speaking to them, or while you told them about your own plans, do they seem to agree? Do they seem to agree and understand what you are saying?
Yes, they understood that. And two, they themselves came with a proposal because the chief executive told them that we don't have enough resources, and we do also not want to go and touch the building and then stall in line. And so we are going to get a contractor who is going to do it fast for us. And they say that some banks have come forward that they want to help them do it. And so we told them that they should let us know the bank so that we deal with them. Yes, because the truth, if you're staying in someone's house and it collapses or something happens, you are not the one to rebuild it. It has to be the person who is the owner of the building who has to do it. And so if some banks have come to you that they want to do it, they have to speak to us, the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, not only as city managers, but because we are the owner of those two buildings, so that we can get to a good agreement, designs and everything there fit standard, and then it can be put up for them within a short period of time that we know that it's going to be done well, and they do not get to stay at home.
Right. And as we watch the footage this morning, I mean the footage that's still on air, we can see some people working in the building. Who are the people exactly?
No, they are the traders themselves. We told them that plants are going to cool down eventually. And even from a layman's perspective, when you see those buildings that the structural integrity says it should be cooled down, you can know or attest to that this has to be cooled down. Yeah, so they are doing it themselves. We told them countless occasions that they shouldn't do that. They are even constructing drains with no supervision. It was wrong. We told them, but yes, we are doing it. So when it's time for us to pull it down, eventually we pull it down. And then while it's being pulled down, we're going to have a container for them in a size that is going to be agreed by all, so that they can be in the container and trade.
All right.
While the construction goes on.
Your background. Your background is a bit noisy, so if you can move away.
Yes, forgive me. I'm at an official program, and I have to step out to
Right.
talk to you. Forgive me.
Right. Okay, so will the containers come before the building is pulled down, or it's going to come after the building is pulled down?
No, we're going to have a conversation with them today. So we'll let them know how it's going to be done at the meeting, whether it's going to be done concurrently or after. We'll settle that today when we meet with them.
Okay.
The special planning committee.
And is there room for collaboration? Like when your building is coming up, or when you are rebuilding everything, would they also, give in their own contribution to build to, their taste, or to however it works for them? Because when you listen to the trader, all they say is, you don't work there. That's their job. They actually work there. That's their place of work, and they know how it works, and it's convenient for them. So is there going to be some sort of collaboration in building this market again?
Yes, there's going to be collaboration. Yes, we don't work there, but we take revenue from there. We take our daily tolls, we take our business operation permits from them. And so in as much as they've lost, we've also lost revenue. We've lost revenue for some time now, because you cannot go there to take revenue from anybody, because no one is working. And so there's been collaboration. That's why I said that they themselves brought a proposal that they've got some bankers who say we want to pull it and reconstruct the building. And that is why we said that they should bring those bankers to us with their leaders involved, and then we'll sit down with the special planning department that is seeing to this work, so that we come to a conclusion, and then we take it from there.
Okay.
Well, so for now, what we are seeing on our screen is concerning the building that is going on. isn't it sort of like waste of money and time if you've not done the structural integrity or the integrity test and you're going to pull it down eventually?
Yes, we've told them on countless occasions that building A, B, C is going to be pulled down. Then C, D, E is also going to be rehabilitated and then rewired. We told them all that. But those doing the plastering and the block work are those in the building that is going to be pulled down. The two that belongs to KMA and the one that belongs to a private person. We told them.
So why won't you stop them? Isn't there any action you can take to stop them?
We have, sir. We have. We barricaded the place, and then they pull it down. We have to bring in security people, but realized that the concentration was to be harsh. So the chief executive and the management of KMA, we withdrew the security people from there. We told them on countless occasions that the building that belongs to KMA, the two buildings and that of the private person, are going to be pulled down.
Wow. When are you planning on doing this structural integrity test and eventually pulling down the structure?
The structural integrity test has been done. That is how come we're able to detect the ones that we have to pull down.
So when are you looking forward to pulling down?
We were supposed to do it in the course of the week, but there was an issue with some of the excavators, so we stopped. But we'll conclude eventually, and then we'll do it soon.
Wow. Anyway, thank you so much for your time. Since you're at an event, we don't want to take much of your time. That is the public relations officer for the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, Madam Efia Konedu Abuaje, who spoke to us about plans for KMA to pull down structures that, per their integrity test, does not meet the strength that a building is supposed to have after the inferno in the area. Charlie, it's just sad because if you know that your structure or that structure is going to be pulled down, why do you want to push in money and eventually you're going to lose everything?
True. I think it's just an issue of desperation, an issue of we want to sell. We've lost everything, and we want to go.
They don't trust the
exactly. Yeah. So I think it's also a matter of not just desperation, but the trust part. Like it's all just talks. It's not going to happen.
That we have to take our property, and if the politician should come in there or the government should come in there to get the structure fixed, we wouldn't get it back. But that is not right, because it's life and property. What if you put your wares in there and the building is not able to hold it? Mind you, some of the wares are very heavy. You are having a textile company or you are selling clothes and you put your clothes in there. Over time, when you keep piling it up, it becomes heavy. And can that building hold it?
Exactly.
If Hafiz Tijani is still on the line, he can still have a conversation with us so that we can wrap up with Hafiz on the situation on the grounds. But from what the public relations officer for the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly has stated, there is a plan for it to go down. And if it's going to go down, that means that the amount or whatever you've invested in there will go down. Hafiz, let's wrap up with some few things. Now, the KMA is saying that what the building that is being put up, or some sort of rebuilding exercises going on there, may eventually go down. Some of them may eventually go down. What are the traders saying about this? Isn't it a concern that they will end up losing their money?
Well, so since morning we have been trying to engage with the shop owners. They are declining to speak to us. Most of them are saying that they have not had any clear timeline from the KMA on when the building will be demolished, and they want to go ahead with the trading activity. So that is why they want to rebuild and resume business. But they would they will not want to speak on record. They will only tell you that no, they are concentrating on rebuilding so that they can resume business. But they don't know when the KMA is going to do a demolition exercise. But for the assembly, they are acting by the reports and recommendations from the NADMO and the Ghana National Fire Service, as well as the engineers who have come here to assess the integrity of the building. But Phil, before we wrap up, the KMA also says it's going to do a decongestion exercise by next week. So even this morning when we came, we saw that the traders have begun moving away from the pavement by themselves, and the place is being cleared. So we just have to give viewers a brief of that. So we'll go to the main section of the central business district area to tell or to give traders some brief about the exercise, which is intended for maybe next week Monday. We are told that the KMA is going to do a major exercise to clear the pavements and the streets. It has been a very worrying trend whenever emergency service providers are trying to access the market area, and even people who come to do their trading activities here in the market, they are not able to because of the congested nature of the city, and that has been a concern for the KMA traders, and also people try to access the market area. Even vehicles are not able to move freely. So that prompted the KMA to do the decongestion exercise here at the main area or the main street of the central business district. And this morning when we came, the traders were moving, or a number of them have moved away from the main streets, which was fully occupied by traders who took over the place to do activity. So we are going to give viewers a feel of that before even the Monday exercise that the KMA is going to conduct. The traders themselves began moving away, so we're engaged with some people who at least buy their trade here. So the streets. So until today, this place was so congested, people were not able to move so freely. But a bit cleared. It cleared, and you see that events are from traders who had taken over the particular portion of the trade. Although you still have some of doing their plan for the KMA is that they are going to these traders by there. And you recall that comment by the Kumasi mayor when he says he was going to flog who want to be recalcitrant as far as this exercise is concerned, and that generated some controversy here within the Kumasi metropolis. And we want to speak to some of the traders whether they are ready for the decongestion exercise today.
Just do that briefly.
Whether they are ready for
a minute or two.
Exercise today. Mommy.
Hello.
Say Biaboko.
I'm Adum.
Came and see Ombeye Adum man. And that traders now.
Okay, Hafiz, unfortunately, we can't get that feed, and we will connect with you later, especially when the decongestion exercise begins. We know that the KMA is very firm in its words to get the markets decongested so that in the near future, should any disaster happen there, the Ghana National Fire Service or whichever authority can get this chance to maneuver its way through the market and get the situation resolved. But Chris Carter, I think that the issue with you rebuilding when structural integrity test has been done and you've been told that some structures will be pulled down, and you've gone ahead to to rebuild these structures. I don't think it's right.
I don't think it's right. They're just being adamant.
Right.
Yeah, they're just being adamant. And you know, this is what happens when the KMA now decides to put that building down.
There'll be chaos.
There'll be chaos.
Yes.
And there will be a lot of crying and blaming.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, you were told.
You were told. You've been told that it's going to be pulled down. So maybe the KMA, in a way, from what the traders are saying, is that they've not seen any commitment or how soon they are going to do the pulling down of the structure so that they can also resume work. So if KMA has to do something, it has to be immediate. If the Ghana National Fire Service has brought out some report or whatever investigations they conducted, they've been able to ascertain that a particular structure must go down. It must go down. Reason is, you think that for now you are saving the building and you want to still sell in the building for the fact that you are scared that the politician may take the building and eventually give it to its individuals or its people. But in the near future, there can be a bigger disaster than what we've seen.
Right. That can take lives.
Yes.
Yeah.
It can take lives. And we are not here to always be reporting disaster. So the leadership of the Adum market, if this is what KMA is telling you, at least maybe you should take it. We will still be following up on this story keenly, especially with the decongestion exercise and that particular day where the structure will be pulled down. You're still watching